Ingrid, and by the time I figured out how to rotate the screen, I already drank my coffee. So I already brewed, and now I'm ready to share with you my to be read pile for the month of October. I'm going to share with you some new foodie novels and, of course, a channel update. So let's start with the latter, the channel update. I know I'm fairly new, so here I go updating a channel. I'm trying to find my way in this booktube world, and so I'm not into like buying a whole bunch of books and, seeing how many books I can get through the month. I'm going to read as I can, okay? And from when it comes to buying books, I mean, unless I really have to buy the book, of course I will. I've learned my lesson in the past from buying so many books and then not having the space to keep the books in, especially when we purchased our home and we had to move from our huge apartment, where I had over 600 books for, between me and my children. And then trying to move all of those books, I had to donate a lot of them. I had to get rid of a lot of them, and I just learned a lesson to just buy what is essential, meaning reference books, something that I'm going to be using a lot, that I'm going to be referring to, and going back to those books. But when it comes to leisure reading books, I decided that with so many ways of getting different types of books, right? You have ebooks, you have Kindle, you have Audible, you have the library, Hoopla, Cloud Library, and all these things. You can get the books and then return them and, keep your sanity by not having so many books in the house. So I decided that, that is how I go about reading my books. And it keeps it interesting because it's like I still have the feel of going out there and picking out books. I just don't have to keep them once I run out of space. So the big channel update has nothing to do with how I read my books. I just needed to put that out there. So the big update is I needed to really focus on what I'm going to bring to my viewers, right? What type of reading am I going to do? Whereas before I said that I was going to do movies and books and songs and all types of stuff. And on occasion, I may do that if I see something that is worth sharing. Of course, I will bring it here on my channel. But for the most part, I wanted to really, again, like I mentioned before, I'm a woman of intentionality, right? Everything has to have a purpose. And so I felt like I have to tie in my love for reading with my love for cooking. Now, I have mentioned before that I have another channel called The Cooking Chronicles with Ingrid. And when I was trying to find my niche in that channel, I started to incorporate my love for reading there. And so I was doing a lot of cozy mysteries with a foodie theme, where the books that I've read had recipes in them. So I would review the book and then share a dish from the book, the recipe that I found in the book. But then I found it that a lot of the people that were just looking for recipes, were looking for some dishes, was not really enjoying the book review part of it. So now that I started this channel, it just dawned on me actually last week. I'm like, wait a minute, why not do the reviews of the foodie novels, of the cozy mysteries on She Brews Reviews, and then I can just let y'all know if y'all want to see some of those delicious recipes served up, then you can go over to the Cooking Chronicles with Ingrid, and check out how I made that dish, and vice versa, right? Those people that love my cooking channel, if they want to hear about the book review, then they can come over to the She Brews Reviews. So then the whole niche on this channel is going to be just that, cozy mysteries and foodie novels. So now that I got that out the way, let's go in to what I'm going to be reading for the month of October. Now, I owe you guys a book tag, which I have not forgot. I have been so busy and I wanted to do that live. But I will do that in the next video. There was some things that I needed to figure out. There was some cleaning up that I had to do over on both channels, because as you know, it's hard enough to manage one. Imagine having two different channels. And so when this epiphany came to me about making the changes, it kind of like delayed the process. Therefore, that's why I'm coming to you guys live today. So with that being said, let's go in. I have a stack of foodie books that I want to share with y'all, and here they are. What can they be? Let's see. All right, so the first one, of course, October reading is all going to be about the fall theme. And so I wanted to share with you some of the books that have that particular theme, whether it's pumpkin or anything fall related. So the first book that I picked up is from Jen McKinley, and it is Pumpkin Spice Peril. Pumpkin Spice Peril. And it's like, I'll read to you a little bit about what it says. It says, life is all sugar and spice for the fairy tale. Cupcake bakers Melanie Cooper is engaged to the delectable Joe DeLaura. Angie Harper and her husband Tate are savoring married life, and the bakery is bustling with happy customers until one of their most valued cupcake connoisseurs ends up dead. Boom, boom, boom. Right, there goes the mystery. So local glass artist and cupcake lover Renee Fisher Klein has always suffered from a wide variety of health issues. In an effort to cheer her up, her doting husband Peter brings her a 4-pack of her favorite cupcakes every week. But when the police discover that Renee has been poisoned, there's no sugarcoating the fact that the last things she ate were the bakery's signature pumpkin spice cupcakes. With their lives and bakery at stake, it's up to Mel and Angie to find out who poisoned their artist friend and why before the future is frosted for good. And so it already sounds like a cool, storyline there. Cozy mysteries are so fun. Sometimes they may come off like a little cheesy, but they keep you entertained because if written well. This is the first time that I'm reading anything from Jen McKinley. If written well, it will really keep you on the edge of your seat. If it has like that plot twist where you think it's one person and it turns out to be the next, that's always fun. And of course, the delicious recipes that are in here. I don't know what I'm gonna make yet, but because of the cupcake theme, I might just try to attempt to make some of these pumpkin spice cupcakes. And then when I bring the review, I may have that cupcake in hand, and then you can always go over to the Cooking Chronicles with Ingrid to see how I made these delicious Peril pumpkin spice cupcakes. So make sure to pick it up. I can't wait. I can't wait to really do this review to see how this book turns out. The next one is Live and Let Chai by Bree Baker. Live and Let Chai. And I love the cozy mystery titles. They're so clever and just they make you want to read them. Of course, you're going to see some different types of chais that I will make. But most of all, I can't wait to share with you the book review. Now let me read on what's on the back to see what we can expect, right? And so here we go. There's trouble is brewing in Everly's new cafe. Can she bag the culprit? Life hasn't been so sweet for Everly Swan over the past couple of years, but now that she's back in her seaside hometown and the proud owner of a little iced tea shop and cafe right on the beach, things are finally starting to look up. Now, not necessarily a fall themed because they're at the beach, unless, in different parts of the world, fall exists in the beach. But I live in a region where the fall starts to get cold, leaves starts to literally fall. And so the only thing that I can say that's fallish for me in this book is the chai, because I love to sip some hot chai tea while I read, right? So I don't know. So that's until a Karamjali customer turns up dead on the boardwalk with one of her Hallmark glass tea jars lying right next to him, and an autopsy that reports poison in his system. It doesn't look good for Everly or her brand new business. And of course, because these are foodie type cozy mysteries, it always has to involve some type of poisoning, right? Because they have to eat something. As the townspeople of Charm turn their backs on Everly, she fights to dig up clues about who would have had it in for the former town councilman. with a maddeningly handsome detective discouraging her from uncovering leads and a series of anonymous attacks on Everly and her business, it will take everything she's got to keep this mystery from boiling over. So live and let chai. Honestly, what comes up to me when I read this particular title, I'm not gonna lie, is Guns N' Roses, Live and Let Die, right? I could hear it, live and let chai, boom, but I'm not gonna get into that because I'm not a singer. But anyway, can't wait to read this. Can't wait to share the report, or not book report, but review rather, of this fun little cozy mystery. Next, we have Alex Erickson. This is an author that I have read before. And so a lot of his titles always start with Death by. This one is Death by Hot Apple Cider. And so when this particular video finishes and it really uploads, I will attach some iCards because I have made some hot apple cider, homemade apple cider. So I'll just add that uh video there from the Cooking Chronicles with Ingrid. The recipe I did not tie into this particular story because obviously I just picked this book up now. But if you're looking for a good recipe, hot apple cider recipe, you don't want to miss that video. And I also probably even attach some hot apple cider donuts to go with the book, so that you guys can check it out. But this is Death by Apple Cider, and so I like the cover. And so here we go. With autumn in full swing and Thanksgiving on the way, Chrissy Supply Cider and her staff is manning the apple bobbing booth at a town event, but then a patron dunks his head in and doesn't come back up. It becomes clear, excuse me, that Chrissy's brew wasn't to blame, but with her policeman, her boyfriend, looking to make detective. This sounds good already. Let's see here. She can't help being drawn into the investigation. The victim was notorious for harassing not only her own bookstore, but the library and the book for promoting supposedly scandalous literature. Before someone censored him permanently, now Chrissy will have to check out a stack of suspects to find a killer who's rotten to the core. So this one sounds really good. So I cannot wait to read that one as well. All right, so let's move on from cozy mystery over to foodie novels. And I decided that I wanted to share these. I may not be able to get through all of these in October. The goal is to hopefully read as much as I can. I'm trying to dust myself off. Before, I could have read about up to 8 books a month, but I have become rusty. But we'll see. Whatever we don't get to read in October, they're just gonna go ahead and spill on over till November. So the next book that I have in mind is Love and Saffron. Love and Saffron. And so this one's a novel of friendship, food, and love by Kim Fay. This is also another um, new author. This is Two Strangers, One Recipe of Friendship for the Ages. And so creamy risotto, alla Milanese. Oh my gosh, I love risotto. I've eaten risotto. I have never made risotto, and that is one of the challenges that I want to do. And I've never cooked with saffron either. And so I'm gonna be trying to attempt to make this risotto and purchase some saffron just to kind of tie both channels in, like I've mentioned before. Again, intentionality. But this sounds delicious. And so mussels in a hot buttery broth, chicken spiced with cinnamon and cloves in 1960s America. Joan Bergstrom and Imogen, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Imogen, Fortier, understand the key to a savored life, delicious food. So young Joan is just discovering herself as a food writer in bustling Los Angeles, while experienced columnist Imogen is settled in her decades-long marriage on Camano Island outside Seattle. When Joan sends a fan letter to Imogen with an enclosed packet of saffron and a recipe, their journey of culinary exploration, soul deep friendship, and personal transformation begins. Sounds like fun, right? So give me one moment here. I have to fix that later. Here we go. I just have to make sure that I have my laptop open just in case anybody pops in. I know I'm starting new live, so I barely get any live viewers. So if you are loving to read and want some good recommendations, make sure to check me out. I will definitely share an updated schedule on when I go live so that you can have it and know. Another way that you know that I will go live is by hitting that notification bell and subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to like. So getting back to Love and Saffron, so let's see here. So it says when Joan sends a fan letter, she sends in a packet with a little bit of that saffron. A friendship begins to blossom and personal transformation begins. It says a long lost flavor surfaces, buried memories, shifting Imogen's relationship with her husband into something new and exciting. And a quest to make carne asada opens the doors of a sheltered life. Carne asada. I love it. I really do. Anyway, so it says showing Joan that true love does not always come in the form we expect it to. As their horizons expand, their friendship becomes their anchor and the mirror through which each better sees, understands herself. Into this beautiful, intimate world comes the ultimate test of their behalf, of their belief that food and love can carry us through the darkest hours. Isn't that the truth? So the witty, tender, and wise Love and Saffron shows how human connection is the only thing that matters and the most powerful antidote in troubled times. So this is a definite win. I'm looking forward to reading it, and I will definitely share my full review once I'm done reading this. All right, the next one that we have is a book by Allegra Goodman, another new author, again, because I totally switched over to this type of niche reading, The Cookbook Collector. The Cookbook Collector, this is also a novel, The Cookbook Collector. And so let's see what this one has to say. It says here that Harold, as a modern day Jane Austen. Bing, 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 bing. Definitely a win, right? By USA Today National Book Award finalist and New York Times bestseller author Allegra Goodman has compelled and delighted hundreds of thousands of readers. Now in her most ambitious work yet, Goodman weaves together the worlds of Silicon Valley and rare book collecting in a delicious novel about appetite, temptation, and fulfillment. Emily and Jessamine Bach are opposites in every way. 28-year-old Emily is the CEO of Veritech. 23-year-old Jess is an environmental activist and a graduate student in philosophy. Pragmatic Emily is making a fortune in Silicon Valley. Romantic Jess works in an anti-aquarium bookstore. Emily is rational and driven, while Jess is dreamy and whimsical. Emily's boyfriend, Jonathan, is fantastically successful. Jess's boyfriend's not so much, as her employer, George, points out in what he hopes is a completely disinterested way. Passionate, surprising, rich in ideas and characters, The Cookbook Collector is a novel about getting and spending, and about the substitutions we make when we can't find what we're looking for. Isn't that so like relatable to cooking, right? There are certain ingredients that you need to substitute, and you will see that when you go over to the Cooking Chronicles with Ingrid, because I am from Puerto Rican descent and a lot of my videos are savory dishes, sweet dishes as well, but a lot of them are Puerto Rican dishes where I switched over to a healthier way of eating, I have to substitute a lot of those ingredients to ingredients that now fit my new lifestyle. And so this is such timely and relatable reading for me. And so I am simply loving it. And so it continues on to say, reading cookbooks instead of cooking, speculating instead of creating, collecting instead of living, but above it all is about holding on to what is real in a virtual world. Love that stays. I can't wait. It's a little thick, but we're gonna get through this. All right, next up we have another new author, Caitlin Hill. This one is Love from Scratch. Sweet and Satisfying by Jenna Evans Welch from the New York Times. And this one is a recipe for romance type of book. I can't wait to read it. I'll share with you a little bit of what the synopsis that I read from this, or I'm reading from the sleeve. It says, Revelry has never tasted the sweet. This summer, again, it's not necessarily a fall theme book, but what makes it fallish for me is the baking. Okay, it's the cakes and the cupcakes and the sweet treats. And so I bake mostly in the fall because that is when it is not as hot. And so the fall, the fall is that type of season where it's cool enough for you to feel a little, coldish, where you can put on a sweater or turn on the oven for some warmth and comfort, but not, not cold enough to put on the heat. So I don't know if I made sense there, but y'all get it, right? I hope y'all do. So anyway, this summer, Reese Camden is trading sweet tea and southern hospitality for cold brew and crisp coastal air. She's landed a dream marketing internship at Friends of Flavor, a widely popular cooking channel in Seattle. The only problem? Benny Beneventi, the relentlessly charming, backwards baseball cap wearing culinary intern, and her main competition for the fall job. Reese's plan to keep work, a no feeling zone crumbles like a day old muffin when she and Benny are thrown together for a video shoot that goes viral, making them the internet's newest ship. Audiences are hungry for more, and their bosses at Friends of Flavor are happy to deliver. Soon, Reese and Benny are in an all out food war, churning homemade ice cream. I can't wait because I just ordered a new creamy from Ninja, which I will be baking ice cream. Yay! I'm excited. As you can see, it's going to be so interactive reading over here. So, churning homemade ice cream, twisting soft pretzels, breaking eggs in an omelet showdown while hundreds of thousands of viewers watch. Reese can't deny the chemistry between her and Benny, but the more their rivalry heats up, the harder it is to keep love on the back burner. Yay! So I can't wait to read this. Love from Scratch. If you ever watched From Scratch in the Netflix series, has nothing to do with this, but that one is, oh my god, the book is great, and so is the series. Check it out. It's based on a true story. I'll leave it there. We'll talk about that another day. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but that tends to happen whenever you start talking about books, movies, and other different types of things that kind of just trigger those memories. But here is Love from Scratch by Caitlin Hill. Check it out. I can't wait to read it and share my review. Sorry about that, my dog. So this one, I am not going to share it because this one has more of, I'm going to leave it for later. It's not part of this fall theme. Next up, we have The Artists and Writers Cookbook, a collection of stories with recipes by Natalie Eve Garrett. I cannot wait to read this one because this one is just not a straight through novel. Instead, it's different writers and authors, and each page, like, they have 1 to 2 pages where they share a story or a memory about their life, and then they include a recipe. And I can't wait to get through this. I can't wait to share some of the recipes found in these books. And so I cannot wait to share this with you. And of course, there's different writers and different cooks and different recipes to go through. They break it down between breakfast, soups and salads, sandwiches, main dishes, snacks, and sweets. So I cannot wait to share this with you. So make sure you tune in when I do the review. And then finally, we have Black Cake. Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. This is a novel, and it's also a series. I believe the series is on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. Netflix or Prime, one or the other. So I decided to pick this one up again because it has a foodie theme to it as well. Let's see what the sleeve says here. So it says, we can't choose what we inherit, but we can choose who we become. And so in present day California, Eleanor Benet's death leaves behind a puzzling inheritance for her two children, Byron and Benny, a traditional Caribbean black cake made from a family recipe with a long history. Now, I love chocolate cake. I want to make this cake and I cannot wait, right? Made from a family recipe with long history and a voice recording. In her message, Eleanor shares a tumultuous story about a headstrong young swimmer who escapes her island home under suspicion of murder. The heartbreaking tale, Eleanor finds or unfolds the secrets she still holds back and the mystery of a long lost child challenge. Everything the siblings thought they knew about their lineage and about themselves. This seems is starting to, I want to read it already. Can Byron and Benny reclaim their once close relationship, piece together Eleanor's true history, and fulfill her final request to share the black cake when the time is right? Will their mother's revelations bring them back together or leave them feeling more lost than ever? Charmaine Wilkerson's debut novel is a story of how the inheritance of betrayals, secrets, memories, and even names can shape relationships and history. Deeply evocative and beautifully written, Black Cake is an extraordinary journey through life of a family changed forever by the choices of its matriarch. I don't know which book to read first. So you let me know which one you would like to hear, which one you want to hear the review from. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining and watching every week. Again, I am finding myself in this booktube world. I finally know what I will be reading, which will be cozy mystery foodie novels. I will share with you the beautiful stories that unfold as I read through the pages, and then I will then refer you over to my cooking channel so that you can see those recipes come to life as you're reading the book. You can also make the delicious dish. So until next time, guys, thank you so much. I will definitely share the new schedule. Be on the lookout for that book tag. I didn't forget. I'm just trying to find my footing here. Bear with me, and I look forward to sharing what I will be reading next. This is what my to be read pile will look like for October. I will catch you in the next video, guys. Bye. See you later.